It's the podcast with a prodigy. It's the podcast with a prodigy. It's the podcast with a prodigy. My podcast.
I decided that although this job was cool, it's not really what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I'm not like trying to be this nail guy. I want to be, my passion is music. I love music. So I was thinking of how I can do something in the music business. I'm not trying to be a rapper. That's not gonna, I knew that wasn't for me. So I decided, you know what? Woke up one day, I'm going to start a record label. I'm just going to get my own record label and go run my own business and do all my own stuff. So I started researching, there's no internet, on how you start a record label. Started reading books, understanding how you do it. And then started talking to people. I didn't know anybody that did music, like even made music. I don't know anybody. But my best friend he was roommates with a band called the Funky Hippies. Or excuse me, at the time it was Goldfish. There was a funk band. I hung out with them every weekend. Your mom knows them. We always hung out with them, party with them. And they were a cover band that did funk music, live band. So I talked to all the guys in the group. Got to play bass, got to play guitar, got to play piano. I said, hey, I'm going to start this record label. Want you to be a part of it? Yeah, let me think about it. Dude, you don't even understand. It's going to be big. Cool. Let me get back to you. Every one of them said the same thing. No one was excited. I can't even believe it. I'm presenting a multi-billion-dollar idea to you, and you're just like, let me get back to you? I'm like, are you not seeing the picture? So I was like, no one wanted to help me. So I finally talked a guy by the name of Fingers. He goes, keep in mind, these guys are not balling. They're making like $50 a night. And they still didn't have the passion to believe in what I was believing in. So Fingers goes, I just told him, look, I'm in Laguna Beach. I go, I'm going to buy all the equipment, because back then you had to build a whole studio. You had to build it from nothing. Cost a lot of money. I'm going to go get all the equipment. I just need somebody to plug the stuff in. Since you play piano, I could help you write. You could help me write some songs. That's all. My whole goal. Since you play bass, you can help me write songs. That's all I was thinking. Help me write the songs. I'll get the rappers. I'll figure it out. So Fingers goes, okay, cool. So he came and started helping me in my place. I actually took an apartment that you would rent out from somebody and remodeled the apartment. like you're not supposed to remodel. I added walls and everything so I can build a recording studio in Laguna Beach. That's what I did. And so Fingers helped me do it all. And then I bought a place in Corona, California, took the 3-car garage for the sole purpose of doing it. I bought a house, took the 3-car garage, turned it into a tricked out studio, and we brought everything over here and it started making music here, bringing gangster rappers. I was known as the guy who would roll up and go to like Compton or Watts, and I'd tell people like, tell me where people get their caps peeled back. Tell me where people is not safe for you on a Friday night. I would go there by myself, banging my music with an old English and be like, in a suit, and go, everybody would look at me, what? What's up, cuz? I go, I don't know if any of you guys rap. I'm starting a record label, and I'm looking to sign some rap artists. And everybody would be like, so I would literally put them in the car, bring them back to the house, and make records. That's what I would do. So I would go to every area and grab people from the hood and bring them back to the house, from IE, OC, LA, everywhere, and bring them back to the crib. San Diego, bring them back to the house, make music. And I started making, they call them mixtapes today, but we call them compilations back then. A bunch of different artists on one album. And we would make CDs and sell them door to door. We would have these little placards that say, help keep the gangs off the streets. Buy the CD for $20. We would drop them off 1 block at a time. A bunch of people go sell the CDs. They would get half. They get $10 for every one they sell. I get $10. We were making money. I'll use that to flip the next CD. So that was the days we were all making money. So what I did at that time was to kind of speed along the story. The internet started coming into play back at that time. They called it the .com era. Everybody was starting a something.com, PepsiCola.com. It was a big deal. A company called MusicBlitz.com. They saw what I was doing because I didn't know anybody in the music business, just rappers I'd find and bring them over here. But I went to the radio stations and waited and waited. I said, oh, you got to play my music. It's the hottest shit ever. You got to play my music. I thought for sure if they hear my music, game on. I got the hottest artist ever. I thought for sure. You hear my music, you're playing it on the radio today. It's the #1 record. Radio stations didn't give a fuck. They'd look at me like, dude, get out of here with that bullshit. So I would literally go to a local radio station, college radio, because there was a guy who played 4 hours at rap. Keep in mind, they did not play rap on radio at all during that era. NWA was borderline some stations, but they didn't play rap. They played mainstream music, and that was it. So I went to this college radio station 4 weeks in a row, waited for the guy. His name was Teddy Bear. Comes in, he was a host, played rap music at the time. He got sick of seeing me. He finally goes, all right, bro, come in here. He allowed me to play my entire CD during his 4 hours, and I talked nothing but about each person, how cool they were. After that, phone started blowing up. Flossy, you got to fuck with me. This company, musicblitz.com, calls me. Hey, I see you're doing good things with the music. I see you got things going on. I'll give you $50,000 for a compilation. I'm like, what? What? I haven't made $1 other than slanging door to door, $10 at a pop. 50,000. Okay, let's do it. He goes, but you need somebody famous. I don't even know anybody famous. I don't know anybody. So sure enough, I tell all the homies, go, look, anybody, I'm going to give you $1,000. You find somebody famous, the person I'm looking for. At that time, I liked a rapper by the name of Corrupt from the Dog Pound. One of my favorite rappers. His music was all over the radio with Snoop and the Dog Pound. My favorite rapper. Somebody find him. So 2 weeks later, somebody called me, 2 a.m, Flossy, get your jetpacks on. We got Corrupt in Moreno Valley recording with Havoc the Mouthpiece from South Central Cartel. I'm like, where at? Boom.
He had a search party going.
I had the homies in the hood looking for him. So I go over there. Corrupt's drunk. He recorded his song. They literally recorded it in the bedroom. And I'm listening to his song like 80 times in a row. I go, listen, got this record label. To me, I'm thinking it's the biggest thing in the world. It's the biggest thing. To me, I'm thinking, Corrupt's going to be so lucky he met me. You don't even know. And when I tell him this, he's going to want to fuck with me for sure. So I tell him, and he's like, yeah, bro, push play again. After I tell him how this amazing opportunity I'm about to give him. Yeah, play the song back. Did you just hear what I said? I'm going to put you on this compilation. This shit's going to go big, bro. To me, it's the biggest thing in the world. And I know a lot of rappers feel the same way. It's the biggest thing in the world to you, but to other people, it ain't shit. They're like, your idea ain't nothing, bro. So he gave me his phone number. The best thing I ever got, his phone number. Keep in mind, this is during the time that Snoop and the Dog Pound, bigger than ever. Snoop's songs on the radio all day, every day. They did the Up in Smoke tour. They're on tour. He tells me he's going on tour, and in between the time, he'll come in to my studio and check us out. I'm calling this dude like a bitch. Where you at? You can come through. Da-da-da. Just over the top, just blowing him up. Like, hey, man. Hey, just checking in, see what you're doing. He was getting irritated, clearly. So I caught him the last time. He was like 15 minutes from the house. He goes, all right, bro. I'm 15 minutes from your house. I'm coming through. If you ain't got shit for me, I'll never fuck with you. I'm like, oh, damn. So I called the homies. Keep in mind, at this time, I got a studio with live guitar players, live piano players, singers, everything available 24/7 to me. This is how we're operating now. Boom. Everybody goes there. Corrupt comes here. We have 3 songs on deck. People are singing live right there for him, coming up with hooks, everything. He's like, God damn. He was blown away. I didn't know you were doing it like this. I'm like, yeah, that's how we get down. All right, cool. He flies back to Philly, comes back to here. He was signed with a company called Entre Records. We record 4 or 5 songs with him. Entre Records says, hey, we want you to produce half his next album. Great, cool. First time I've ever done anything with a record label, an actual record label. The next trip down, he brings his brother Roscoe. And he says, Roscoe's 14 years old. He goes, Flossy. He brought not only bring Roscoe, he brings Roscoe, his mom, and a lawyer. And they said, hey, I want you to fuck with Flossy because Flossy knows his shit. He knows the music business, and I trust this dude with all my life. Okay, cool. Flossy, I want you to take legal guardianship of my brother and look after him. Done. So I put him in school, took legal custody of him. when he was 14 years old and started helping him with home studies, homework, all that stuff, and basically started making an album for him. Started putting it out. So at this time,
why did they want you to take legal?
So he could move out to California.
Oh, so Corrupt could?
No, so Roscoe could, because Roscoe was a minor. He's a little kid in high school.
And he was trying to rap too?
Yeah, he's a dope rap artist, super dope. I'm not gonna say maybe more talented than his brother at the time. So, but we brought him over here. We started making records. We wrote a song for Snoop because at this time, now Corrupt's staying at the house. Corrupt and Roscoe are both staying here at the house. So now Snoop doesn't live but 30 minutes from us. So I'm driving Corrupt back and forth to Snoop's house. So I said, I want to do a song with Snoop. What do I got to do a song with Snoop? All right, I wrote a song called I Love Cali for Snoop. Snoop's like, whatever. He goes, why don't you give it to Roscoe? I'm thinking, buzzkill. Roscoe? I want Snoop on this record. So I do the song. We go, fuck it, let's get Snoop on Corrupt on the record, or Roscoe on the record. Roscoe gets on the record. We bring it to, at the time, they have a deal over at Priority Records with Brian Turner. Bring it to them. They invite, keep in mind, I've never even been invited to a record label. Like I couldn't even get a record label to answer my phone call. I go to the record label. They go, hey, Floss, how you doing? Da-da-da. Cool. We'll get back to you. In the meantime, because I feel like I failed at the labels. They didn't even want to talk to me. They just kind of blew me off at that label. Meantime, somebody goes, hey, I want to set you up with Jimmy Iovine and Interscope. So I'm like, okay, cool. Somebody who's close with him. They bring him over to Interscope. Interscope, the guy who took a meeting with, I won't say his name, he's super famous, literally goes, let me hear what you're working with. I had 15 songs on a CD. Do it every time I push play, taking a phone call in the middle of the song. The song's playing, he's like talking, oh yeah, I'll see you at lunch today. Boom, hangs up. Next song's playing, I'm saying, and that's so-and-so, da-da-da. He's like, yeah, I'll be back with you. Somebody walks in the middle. There's like 4 or 5 of this. Like, this dude don't give a shit. Like, oh my God. Dude is not trying to hear any of my music. So I got up in the middle of the meeting, push eject. He goes, what are you doing, bro? I go, hey, let me know when you're not busy and I'll come back. The whole camp was mad at me. I'm like, I was mad this dude was not listening to my music. I left. I go, fuck a label, fuck everybody. If they're not going to hear my music and they don't care, I don't want to be here. I will just keep doing what I'm doing and figure it out. So while this is going on, I got the label who's listening to Roscoe's music. They called me and said, Floss, let's meet again. We want to do a deal with Roscoe. I'll give you $500,000, put an album together, make it happen. I'm like, yes. Cool. Next thing you know, the song I Love Cali, #1 summertime anthem for California. I love Cali in the summertime. Doo-doo-doo. So that record takes off, starts blowing up. And then I'm still selling CDs door to door in the swap meets. And I'm going to these swap meets and these Korean ladies and stuff like that saying, that's cool, but we need an artist that looks like this. They kept pointing to Mexican artists. I'm like, what the fuck is, what? So I bought a couple of the CDs and it was Chicano rappers rapping over oldies music. I'm like, what the fuck? Horrible recordings too. But they were selling a lot of them, they said. A lot of them. So yeah, as I'm going to these swap meets trying to sell my own CDs of, hip hop artists, I see all these owners of the shops are saying, you got to give me more of this, Korean owners. What is this? And they have Mexican or Chicano rappers rapping over oldies music, literally rapping over the oldies people singing the songs, and they're just rapping on top of them singing. Horrible recordings, but those are the ones that were selling. So I was like, okay, let me take a look at this. I went back and started doing some research, started calling people saying, research back then, because you didn't have the internet, was me calling people going, hey, you guys heard of this Chicano shit? What's going on? Oh, yeah, it's big. This is what's going on. I go, who's the hottest artist in this business? And they told me a guy by the name of Little Rob. I go, give me that guy. And so I had people reach out to him, find him, brought him over to me. And I started working with people like Little Rob and started producing records with Little Rob and his label. And then the label hired me to do his album. Little Rob loved what we were doing. He wanted me to produce an album called 1218 Part 1, which became one of his biggest albums. And in the process of working on that record, Little Rob would be at the house every day making records with us. And my job was to oversee the production of the album, make sure we're going to make some hits. Because the label he was signed to was a small company, little small guys, homies, friends of his, trying to put out records. And so one day we did a record called Summer Nights. Every day just sitting around, but when the sun goes down,
Yeah.
be ready to party.
Everyone
Ain't
knows
nothing
that
like
record.
them summer nights. So I already had that record, I Love Cali, in the summertime. That record was blowing up on the radio already. And then this record had a summertime vibe. I love that record. Keep in mind, I'm still working with Corrupt and Roscoe and the Dog Pound and everything going on like that. And so I took this record and I went to I went to a recording session with Corrupt. Corrupt was working with DJ Quick, Snoop, and at the time, the program director, person who decided the music for Power 106, he was listed as one of the 30 most influential people in hip hop. His name was Damian Young, and so the Mizza, they called him. So I went to him. I go, hey, you know, in the middle of everybody talking, hey, we just listen to this record. Quick's playing his records like with 25-inch speakers, just so loud. Boom, boom, boom. Quick's playing his new stuff. Like, Quick is the name, all this stuff. I'm like, damn, this stuff's hot. I go, hey, real quick, do you guys mind listening to this record? Interrupting probably the hottest records in the world, like records you guys are listening to every day. Would you guys mind listening to this record? The Mizza plays this record, and everybody loses their mind. I'm talking about Quick. I think Sugar Free was there. Everybody screaming, yeah, and they played it like 8 times in a row. Keep in mind, Little Rob did not want to do this record. He didn't want to do this record because it's not what he normally does. I don't know. It's not me, Holmes. It's not what I do. And I go, well, they're paying me to do stuff that is not what you normally do. This is my job to bring you into a different era. And so I said, we're going with that record. Keep in mind, I'm not the record label, but I said, we're moving on this record right now. Power 106 puts it into regular rotation, full rotation. They start playing on the radio. The label's pretty upset with me for making it their single. It's not my decision, but I made it the single by pushing it. That record reaches number 4 in the country. And the same time, I got I Love Cali blowing up. So now I got 2 records that are popping big time in the hip hop community. And this is like one of the first Chicano rap artists that are just doing some numbers. So meanwhile, all these Chicano rappers are now coming to me, every one of them. So anything that you hear in Chicano rap at this time is me behind it. Because now I have the ear, because they weren't playing Mexicans on the radio at the time. They weren't playing anybody. So now all this stuff is going on through me. So now I'm pushing this narrative and it's cracking. And I start escalating the game and focusing on this Chicano rap, because there's like, ultimately the reason is because it's a market that nobody has capitalized on. So I figured I'm going to go to an area that nobody's focused on, because everyone's doing gangster rap.
Yeah.
But now no one's doing this. If I make this my thing, we can win. And sure enough, we're winning. And I got Superman with Brown Boy. I got at one point I had 8 records on the number 1 station in the country, Kiss FM. 8 stations, 8 songs with this song. They're playing my records, and so I'm working on a record called by an artist by the name of Down, aka Kilo, and his entire album is every West Coast rapper you can think of, from MC8, Ren, Snoop, Daz, Corrupt. Everyone's on this record. Nate Dogg did like 3 or 4 records on his stuff, and I bring this. The program director says, "Hey, what do you got new, Flossy? You got a lot of your records. What do you got new? We want to hear some new stuff you got." So I gave him a CD with 7 songs on it of different artists I was working with, and the 4th song was a song called "Lean Like a Cholo." We just finished it, and so over the weekend I dropped it off to Kiss FM on. This is, by the way, Ryan Seacrest is working there, so her and Ryan Seacrest are listening to the song and they go, "Flossy, we really like this song called Lean Like a Cholo," and I'm like, what? Out of all the songs that I sent you, that's the one? I go, oh yeah, that's the amazing song. I'm trying to sell it. That's an amazing song. It's the best song. These guys are amazing. This and that. Okay, great. We'll get back to you. On Monday, this is on Friday, they tell me. Saturday, and they're telling me this. On Monday, they call me, Flossy, we're putting this song into regular rotation on the number 1 station in the country. This song is playing 40 times a week on this station. Boom, the song becomes a hit. You got little white kids doing the dance. You got Asian kids doing the dance. Song blows up. And at the time, they had ringtones. We were selling ringtones for like $3.99.
Oh my God.
They did over 1.5 million ringtones.
Oh my God.
So we got a platinum record for that song. And it just took off like crazy. So every song we did after that just was very successful. But that's how we targeted that market and started focusing on it. And at the same time, we still were focusing on whatever came through the door. Like, boom, this is coming. We're taking the money. Let's get the bag. Let's go. At one point, we were doing songs for 10 grand a day, and we're trying to knock out 2 songs or 3 songs a day. So people would bring a duffel bag full of cash, 10s and 20s, because we're dealing with hustlers from the streets, and they'd drop it off, push. Hey, here's that. At one point, somebody brought $200,000 in cash, and we want to do an album. Just dropped it out. We're counting it out in the studio right here in this room, actually, counting out $200,000 in cash so we can do records and drop them off. But that's kind of the way the direction went. And what's really crazy is that all this time, I'm trying to make a connection with the record labels so I can get in the game. Like I'm thinking, I need to get in the game. I need to get in the game. I need to know somebody at these record labels. And I don't know anybody at a record label, but I'm getting paid so much money and I have #1 records. Now guess who's calling me? Not the A&Rs, not anybody. Jimmy Iovine. Hey, Flossy, how are you? This is Jimmy Iovine. I want to talk to you. Cool. They bring me in. The president of Atlantic Records brings me in. And we sit down and we start talking about business. Mike Karen at Atlantic Records. Flossy, I really like what you're doing. I want to know how you're making millions of dollars doing music, but you're not spending the same money we're spending. So they start picking my brain. And then they bring me into Disney or Nickelodeon has an artist by the name of Keke Palmer.
Yeah.
Disney at the time. We want you to do a song. What do you got for her? We give her a bunch of songs. I have an artist that I'm trying to get a record deal for. I feel like I can get him a deal. His name is Big Meech. And we had this song called Keep It Moving. Oh, it's an amazing song. Keep it moving. They hear it. Atlantic Records said, we want this record for our artist. And I go, I don't know the business that well, but I just thought, you know what? This is a big song, and I want it for my artist, and I'm trying to get my artist a major deal. And so they go, okay, great. They go, we'll give you $30,000 for the song. Keep in mind, I'm charging 10 grand for a song. Mm-hmm. Then I go back and talk about it and go, man, if they want this song for 30 grand, that means this song's a hit. I'm going to pass. So I tell them no. So we're going to pass. Keep in mind, this artist is not popping at all. So we just made the song for him. We like the song. That's it. I can get him a deal. That's what I'm saying. They call me and say, we'll give you 50 grand. I'm like, nah, I'm going to pass. Keep in mind, 50 grand is a lot of money for us right now. We're like, oh, this could change the game a little bit. So we're going to pass. I think I can get him a deal. So then I think I was at a pizza party with your mom and your brother after a football game. And they call me with Kiki's mom on the phone, the president of the label. The lady goes, Kiki's mom goes, listen, Flossy, I don't know you from a hole in the ground, but I'm going to tell you right now, we want this song for our artist. This is my daughter. We're going to put it out. It's going to be a big song. We're going to do this and this and that. The song's going to blow up. It's going to be a major song. I don't know what you got going on with the song, but we're willing to give you $60,000. And I go, yeah, we're going to have to pass. They go, what? Are you crazy? And so they go, that's it. If you're not going to take this deal, we're not going to give you any more money. I go, I understand, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to be nice. I'm like, I'm not mad at you. It's whatever. Like, I'm trying to get this dude $1 million deal. So in my head, this is what I'm thinking. I'm trying to get him $1 million. And if you guys want the song this bad, this song's worth $1 million to me. So then they call me back. I'm calling all the parties involved, my partners, and I go, listen. They go, what do you think? They go, Flossy, just fucking, let's get the money and move. We'll make another song. Who cares? And I'm thinking, you know what? My attitude was like, I started thinking about it during pizza. I'm like third slice of pizza. I'm like, wait a minute. This is not going to be the artist's biggest and best record. If this is the best we can do, this artist will never make it in the business. We can do bigger and better records. There's no doubt in my mind I can make bigger records. So who gives a shit about this record? I go, but I got an idea. I'm going to tell him I'll do it for the 60 grand, but you got to keep my artist on the verse. You got to keep him on the verse, and then that way I put him in a position to get the $1 million deal, right? Yeah. So I was going to call them back and tell them that. You can have it for 60, you got to do the verse, whatever. They call me back and go, Flossy, this is the last offer. I go, what's that? We're going to give you $75,000 right now.
Oh, my God.
I go, I will do that if you give me what I want. What? You got to put my artist on the verse and put him in the video. Done. Cool. And then after that, we agreed to that, and they go, the mom goes, Flossy, I'm gonna tell you right now. I was gonna what'd she say? I was gonna do it at 60. No, I was gonna do it at 80 grand. I was gonna give you 80 grand. And I go, I was gonna do it at 60. So she was saying, like, we would have closed this at 80 if you would have waited. And I go, I would have closed it at 60. That's my attitude. Like, I was gonna do it at 60 with the verse. And we started laughing at each other. But because of that, we did the record. He got in the video. That record was a number one record at Disney. Number one record at Disney. Blew my artists up. By the way, let me go back a little bit. I was in negotiations with Sony to get a deal. So the person I was calling in between all the negotiations was Sony. It was Epic. I was calling Charlie Watt going, hey, Charlie, listen, this company wants to give me a bunch of money for this record right now. Are you okay? Flossy, I don't give a fuck about that record. That's when I said, I'm going to ask for 75. Go do the deal, get the money, put them in the video, and let's go. So I was like, everyone's going to win because I'm still going to get the deal. So I got the I got a $5 million deal right after that phone call. Okay, let's do the deal. Let's go. Boom. Got the 75K, number one record. Artist got a deal with Sony Epic. And that's when I was like, okay, this is how we hustle. This is how we get that dough. So, but to go back, when I was doing my day job, I didn't quit my day job because I knew I needed to keep the bills paid. I got new kids on the way. You were a baby at the time. I got kids on the way. I got a house payment. I got all these things going on. I had to keep my day job to cover the bills. But at one point, before my records were popping, I had to make a decision. I was so successful at my day job, I decided that if I put all my energy and effort, because I went from making $200 a week to 300 grand a year. If I put all my energy and efforts into my passion, which was doing music, I focused on that solely, I felt like I could make crazy money and be successful. But I felt like if I didn't do that, I would probably jeopardize what I'm doing on my business for the music. So one day I quit. No insurance, no more payroll, nothing. I'm just going to leave my job and go all in. Everybody thought I was crazy. I'm sure your mom thought I was crazy. But that first year after quitting, I made over $1.5 million doing music.
Hey.
So I felt it was a good decision, but it was very well thought out. And I felt that it wasn't because I just felt I'm going to do this. Everything was lining up to position me to make that money. I wasn't making that money at the time, but I felt like I'm in a position, I needed to spend more time doing my job with music to make the kind of money I wanted to make. So I just said, I have to do this. I took a leap of faith, but it was pretty planned out. It wasn't like I think I can do this. So I would tell anybody, if your passion is music, if you have a plan and you're heading in that direction and you're close and you can kind of gauge in your head, like, I know if I do A, B, and C, I can make my money to cover my bills, go do it. But don't quit doing, just like what you said, don't quit doing your day job to pay your bills until your hobby is covering the cost.
Yeah.
So I was in a position like I was at the cusp. I was really at the edge of like, if I made this decision right now, I go all in, I could step it up 10 times or I could fail. But I felt like I'm not going to fail. There's no way I can fail because my attitude is like, if my kids ain't eating, somebody's getting robbed on the streets. Somebody's dying tonight. My kids are going to eat. So that was my mentality. But because I made the decision, it made me, more aggressive in music, made me make more powerful moves faster, and it gave me more time to focus on my passion, which is music, and my career now.
Yeah.
So that was 1997.
That's crazy. You basically like created 3 whole trends that still go on today. Well, three main ones. You started building up in the gangster rap industry. Brought in that sound of the old talk boxes back in the day,
Yes.
with Fingus and everything like that. I miss that. But brought up Chicano rap, really, to be honest. Like, a big influence on that and stuff. You can see it like
pretty much anybody during our time, anybody that was on the radio in Chicano was because of me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's all, it's relationships, having the ability to communicate with people effectively and people liking to work with you. Like, that's the other thing is creating a good experience with people. When they work with you, they trust you. Like, and I'm not talking about just the artists, but I'm talking about the record labels, the people that are cutting me a check. Jimmy Iovine called me and said, Flossy, I want to start giving you $125,000 a week. I'm going to sign an artist for a single deal. I'm going to send them over to you to work with them. And if you like them, do as many songs as you can for a week. And if you like working with them and you tell me what you think about them, I'll sign them to a full album. If not, I'll dump them. You get your 125 grand, keep it moving.
Dang.
Send them down. Let's go.
Basically $125,000 just to try
a week.
Dang.
So, and then on top of that, and the crazy thing is like, so I ran into one of the guys that I told them not to sign. Right? So they go, the guy happened to be a pro football player, making lots of money. He goes, Flossy, I'm not going to mention his name. We were at a party and he goes, you don't remember me, do you? I go, no. He goes, remember they told me, you told them not to sign me. He was mad at me. He's like ripped up, buff ass football player. Like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? We're at a club. He's like, you remember this group? I'm not going to say their name. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, they told me, you told them not to sign us because we're not worth it. And I go, I actually did say that. And they go, what the fuck, bro? My other dude's homeless and broke, whatever it is, struggling in Oakland, California. And I go, but you said you play for the team. I'm not going to mention the team. You pro ball? You went to college, play pro ball? Yeah. So for you, it was the right decision. Aren't you glad I told them no? Because imagine, if I would have made that decision to sign you guys, you would have been signed. You would not have been successful, which I didn't believe you were going to be successful. And you would not be an NFL star. And he goes, that's true, bro. I go, now your boy suffered, but you're in a good spot. Figure out a spot for your boy. Sometimes shit works out like that. But would you have rather I lied and put you in a fucked up situation to where you can't make money like you're making right now? Imagine that. I didn't think of it like that. Right. Just imagine though, like if you would have failed, you would have been broke like your dude. That's what it is, dude. That's the way the game goes. But my job was to keep it 100 I got hired by them, not you. I got hired by them to keep it 100 with them. And I told them I didn't believe you were going to make it. And you know why? I explained to them during the sessions the things I saw wrong. You guys couldn't write a song to save your life. We did all the work. You weren't hustling. You guys were late, this and that. All those things made me say, don't bring them in. You're right. Cool. So, yeah.
Okay. So, for you, just to like kind of end it off like for this session, what do you think was like the most important thing that like in your personality or like your work that you did that you think like made you successful along the way? Like as a whole, like something you did throughout like your music career, your nail tech job, your getting into new styles of music.
One, it would be like, my theory is no matter what job you do the best you can at that job. And it came from my mom. My mom was always the most proud of us. If I robbed a liquor store, I would come home and say, we robbed the liquor store. Oh my God, what'd you get? Did you get this? Did you get that? She was so proud that we just were successful at robbing the liquor store. If I got a job as a janitor, the worst job, picking up, cleaning toilets or whatever, my mom would say, your grandma would say, oh my God, honey, because what you can do is you go from cleaning the toilets and eventually you'll set up your own company and start running your own people, hire them to work for you. Pretty soon you have an entire operation. She would name companies that were doing big plumbing jobs or whatever. She would name big companies. And you could do something like that. My mom was always excited about what you can do with where you're at, where you can go with where you're at. You could take that to here. Yeah, that's a menial job right now. It's nothing right now. But you could do this, this, and this. And she would name companies that were doing that. And they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're making millions of dollars. And my mind would just go, wow, so I can, with a nothing job, you can turn a nothing into something if you put your mind to it. So all the time through my whole life, everything negative was always positive with my mom. So that part of it carried with me today. Everything negative, because the music industry is super negative.
Yeah.
But you take all those negatives and you erase all of them. Like those are all Those are all people, all the negatives you hear are people saying, what if, this and that. I never believe in all that. My theory is, if they did it, we can do it. If Jimmy Iovine did it, I can do it. Because I look at it like, it is possible. People are doing it. And typically the average person stops at, yeah, but that's because they did this and they had that. And they basically create a scenario of why they can't do it. That person did it because of all of these factors. But the reality is they probably had all the same, the world was against them too. They probably already had the weight of the world on them, but they didn't look at it like that. They looked at it like, if it's somehow imaginable, it is possible. If you can dream it, you can do it. So you got to dream big. Like, if you can dream it, you can do it. Let's take, for example, some people say, my dreams, I haven't reached my dreams, or I already fulfilled my dreams. Like, have you heard sometimes, I already fulfilled my dreams. I'm good. I got my house. I got this and that. It's because you didn't dream big enough. The dream, if you fulfilled your dreams, you're not dreaming big enough. Like, I could have told you my dreams have been fulfilled. I could say that a couple times over. I've already fulfilled my dreams. I've had everything I wanted. You're not dreaming big enough. You're settling. That's my attitude. You are settling for less. Why can't you be like an Elon Musk? If I want to buy Twitter tomorrow, I want to be able to buy Twitter tomorrow. Why can't I? You can. You got to set your goals higher. You got to work harder, set your goals higher. Everything's available to you. There's no reason why you can't do what you want to do. Go do it. If somebody else did it, that's why we're doing the podcast right now. I brokered a couple deals for some movie deals, got them into some Netflix situations, and I realized the play is pretty much just like the record industry play. It's the same business, a different structure, but same business. We're basically taking content, putting on a platform, and generating revenue off of it. But the reality is, why do I need to go ask somebody else for money? Like, why should I go to Netflix and go, hey, Netflix, can you please take my project? So my attitude is just like the record business. Instead of begging a label to take my content, I'll just go put it out till they beg me for my content. So that's my theory. That's why we're starting the podcast and doing what we're doing, is I'm going to put out the content, make Netflix or Hulu beg me for the content. Probably not going to give it to them. Maybe I will give it to them. The money's right. But at the same time, I'm trying to build my own Netflix. So I don't have to go asking for somebody to help me. I'm not looking for help. I'll create my own path, my own way to make revenue, generate it, and go build it. And like the Field of Dreams, build it and they will come. That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Go build it, they will come. Don't go begging, hoping. And that's the other thing. Artists constantly think, the average artist thinks like, I'm going to make amazing music and somebody's going to come sign me. Somebody's going to hear my music and they're going to want to sign me. You just heard that phone call, off camera, by the way. I got that phone call and people were talking about how amazing this artist is in a certain city. They're blowing up. They're super big. Their numbers aren't great, whoop-de-whoop. But the reality is they're begging for help. They need help, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to go begging for help. You shouldn't put yourself in a situation to where the only way for you to succeed is for someone to help you. It's not a good business plan. A business plan would never, if somebody said, hey, Flossy, give me a business plan. My business plan is to make an amazing song, and if it's so good, maybe we'll get somebody to call you. You can't invest into that. You can't invest into a maybe. What you can do is say, I'm going to put out a great song, drop a great video. I'm going to pay all these guys to market and promote it, and then the traffic's going to come. I have millions of listeners, millions of followers, and when that traffic comes, there will be a value that's due to the artist. People will look at it and go, hey, this artist is worth something. He's got 100 million views, 100 million streams. Now everybody wants to work with him. Now it's up to you to decide, do you want to work with the people that want to give you a check? You want to position yourself in a position of power versus hope. You can't hope for a deal. You got to make sure you're going to make money. Get the money first, worry about all the other nonsense later. So that's my theory. Hustle hard, work smarter.
That's why they call him Flossy the boss.
Yes, sir.
Because he ain't letting nobody else do it for him.
Nah, you got to go do it yourself. Don't wait for nobody to cut you a check. Ain't going to happen. And if they do cut you a check, It's just because you need the money or want the money that you decide to take. Maybe I'll take it. But you don't want to put yourself in a position where if I don't get this check, it's a wrap. If they don't call me, it's a wrap. You put yourself in a position of power. I control the narrative. I got everything going my way. And if I decide to do business with you, you're lucky. Now we can do business together and make money together.
Yeah. That's a good piece of information. He's a smart man right here. Studied the dictionary for fun back in the day.
Not for fun, but had to work it. But ultimately, so now Prodigy, you're doing the podcast. And that's the vision. You're building your own network. And you see the growth. Like you remember during COVID, right?
Yeah, when we first started a little over a year ago.
Yeah, during COVID, you saw like the traffic we got. Putting out content is
50 views.
Yeah, small views. And now you're getting traffic. And the talent is bigger. Because remember, you can't just start it. Even though I know the people, I can't just ask a celebrity to come onto your podcast with no traffic.
Yeah.
We still have to go reinvent ourselves. We have to prove to the people or the celebrities that it's worth it for them, because the celebrity's not going to come and just get on a show because it's a favor, because it could hurt their reputation. So the reality is we had to go prove ourselves to these entertainers before we went and asked them, not even for a favor, just to come on our show. Like we don't want to be embarrassed to come on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we got 10 views. You guys suck. That would hurt their credibility. So we had to put in the work, and now look at the people we got on our show.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, and the thing is, like, they're down to do it now. It's not like, oh yeah, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier because now you have a track record. You've done some great names. You have some great shows, and it's building into something big.
Yeah, hopefully within the next year or two, it'll blow up. Like you said, the things will align right, and we'll be able to, push that forward and make something crazy happen out of this.
And would you interview Kanye?
I'll be down to interview Kanye. Why not? Like, that man is the most talked about man, like, on the planet right now.
We got to try to figure out how we got to get him on the show. That'd be great. If he got on the show, it'd be a wrap.
We got to get Pete to come on, and then he'll get angry. Then he'll come over here.
That's a good strategy. I bet we can get Pete, actually.
That would be insane. That would be crazy. I like Pete. I think he's a funny guy.
I love Pete. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, let's get sidetracked, talk about these dudes and all their drama with their girls and stuff like that. I'm sure my pops over here, a.k.a. Flossy the Boss, he's very, he has a lot of information to talk about. He's been in the game for many, many years. He's literally seen rap evolve from nothing to what it is today, and he's been a part of it, the whole naming back anything, the whole Tupac shooting situations, Biggie, anything you name that's big in history and rap, he's been in it and stuff like that. And I think we got to end it right here. I'm sure we could talk more, but guys, let us know if you want us to, do another one of these.
If you guys got questions that you want to, know about the business, we could always come back and just chop it up about that business. We have enough questions. We could talk about it during a music business segment and break it all down, like understanding the business in detail.
Yeah. And also, if you guys want to learn some more, Flossy the Boss over here wrote an online book that he's been selling, telling you about how to like make it in the business world and stuff like that. Because he doesn't, obviously, if you guys listen to this podcast, he doesn't just make the music. He makes the deals. He deals with the people's problems and stuff like that. So
I'm the business of music.
Yeah, he's not just a producer and doesn't just make music and stuff like that. But if you guys are interested in anything like that, you could always DM Flossy the Boss. He's willing to make money in any way possible.
Let's go.
Help anybody and stuff like that. But yeah, let us know if you guys want to see another one of these episodes. We could answer your questions if you got any. And it's been another episode of the podcast with Prodigy with the legendary Flossy the Boss.
You already know what it is.
The CEO of something soon to be hopefully super big at What's Good Entertainment.
What's good?
And we're just going to keep it pushing, putting out more episodes for you guys. This man's the face behind the whole, everything going on that we're posting up in here. And been another episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time.
Let's get it.
It's the podcast with the Prodigy. It's the podcast.